Welcome to the Shire Fit podcast. We created this podcast to help you achieve your goals. I'm Jack Fletney, the founder of Shire Fit, and my aim is to give you the best fitness, business and mindset advice so you can go and smash your goals.
Hello and welcome to the Shire Fit podcast. My name is Dan. I am the manager and one of the coaches at Shire Fit Corby, and today I've got Jack with me. You want to say hello, Jack?
What up?
What up? So I've got Jack with me today because he's just done something incredible and has just completed an Ironman in Frankfurt. So today it's going to be covering a little bit about his training beforehand, or maybe lack of training beforehand, his experiences with the Ironman, and kind of after and what's next. That sound good, Jack?
Sounds good to me, mate, yeah.
Right, Jack has a bit of a tendency that before we do podcasts or anything like this, he asks us random questions which we haven't prepared for, so I'm going to do the same with you today. Right, just to wake you up a little bit.
Ones, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably a little bit tired still, so I'll wake you up. So, super simple one to start off with.
So is it like quick fire, yeah?
Yeah, quick fire. I've also written down the answers, which I think you...
Okay.
Don't look at my cheat sheet.
I can't see, you haven't got it too bad.
And we'll look at after just to see whether I was close or not. So, first of all, easy one. What's your favourite colour?
Blue.
What superpower would you have?
Flying.
If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Sunday roast.
Ooh. What's your biggest annoyance or bugbear? What you really you can't stand?
That's a really good one. There's loads, mate. No, I think maybe ego.
Okay, cool. And I definitely know the answer to this one. Okay, you're in the middle of a workout, it's not going well, or you need a PB. What song do you play?
Oh, Miley Cyrus.
Which one?
Party in the USA.
Perfect.
That is, honestly, you put that on the song, you've seen it before, mate.
Yeah, I knew that was the only one.
I turn into a different man when that song comes on.
I know, I think we all turn into different. And then the last one. So, out of our coaches from Corby, Wellingborough and West Yorkshire,
yeah,
in order, who's most likely and least likely to finish an Ironman?
Okay, do I go most likely to least likely, yeah?
Yeah, most likely.
Right,
so
we've got it. Okay, so
I'm going to tick these
are we going coaches, yeah?
Yeah, just coaches.
Okay, most likely, I would say, first up, I'd probably say most likely would be Max.
Yeah, agreed.
Max go first. Second most likely would probably be, that's a tough one actually now. I would probably say Ed.
Yeah, that's what I put too. He's a bit robotic.
Third, I reckon Ed would do really well, especially because if he's so good on the swim, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute anyway. But next one would be Coach Ash.
What? No
Third,
way.
mate. That man is an endurance animal. You haven't seen him, honestly. Yeah. No, I'm joking.
I was going to say he's last in my list.
No. I think you'd be third.
Oh, I put Jake, but yeah.
Oh no, mate. No, Jake's down there.
Right.
Jake does not like anything cardio based.
Okay.
Anything, yeah. And then I would say probably Sarah.
Uh-huh.
Then I would say Jake.
And then Ash last.
No. I think Ash should do all right. I think so.
He has got flippers for feet.
It depends on it. If he had a long time to do it, if he had 17 hours, he'd grind through it. Would he moan and would he let all his body position go?
I just think the amount of fluid that would leave his body, he wouldn't
he's a
finish
sweaty
it.
man, yeah. That's what I probably think.
Perfect. That is the end of the questions. I think I do quite well. I said green for your colour.
No, that's terrible.
Fly. I got that right.
Yeah.
I put for food. I put nuggets or something childish because you know.
That's true. That'd be my second one. To be fair, yeah.
For
Turkey
the
dinosaurs.
Annoyance. I put weak-minded people, and that was kind of kind of close. Miley Cyrus, of course, and then the list.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Love it.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty stuff. So first of all, people that don't know what a Ironman entails or the distance or disciplines, just want to explain what an Ironman is.
Yep, so, firstly, I recommend if you're not sure about what the Ironman is and you want to find out more, we've got a previous podcast. We spoke with Darren Thors, who's an Ironman athlete and a triathlon coach. So go back into that. But overview of an Ironman, it is a 3.8k swim. It's 112 miles, but this one was 115. It was slightly further. 115 mile bike and then a marathon at the end as well.
Wow. Okay, so I think the first question... Why? Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to put yourself through that?
I think so. People do it because obviously it's people like doing these kind of silly challenges because it is a challenge. I think that's probably why more so. And I think with the Ironman, it's got such a good, strong brand with it as well, and they're very well organised, and it is historically known as being one of the hardest events there is. So it's people want to try and do it. So I think that's the reason people get involved with it. Why did I do it? I remember, and Anna keeps denying this now it's happened, but we had a discussion a long time ago, and I said I'd be very interested to see, because I've seen lots of people training and spending a lot, like sacrificing years of their life training for these events. If it was possible with the normal training we've been doing in the gym and the sessions we've been doing to be able to turn up and do one of those and complete it without having to do all the massive prep time with it. She laughed at me when we discussed it, and then literally it happened about a week later. Obviously I was friends with Stuart, one of the members, who's done a few, I think quite a few now, 6 or 7 of different events involving Ironman, and he said, well, I'm going to sign up for Frankfurt if you want to sign up. And I was like, yeah, not really knowing that it was like the shortened time frame, and it's the World Championship one they call. So and then I signed up for it, and originally the idea was, okay, well, I won't do anything for it. Then I looked at it and realised, oh god, this is quite a big challenge, maybe I should start training for it. I planned to start training for it and then didn't. But anyway, I'll let you.
So what was your kind of preparation for it? Okay, so if you can say what you wanted your original preparation to be, then what did it actually end up being?
Yes, the original idea was to continue following all the gym programming as I have been for a long time now, and that's involving doing like our traditional Shy Fit and CrossFit class, and then also do some of the engine classes now they came in as well. And then on top of that, the plan was basically every weekend to do one long duration session, and then probably add in some specific interval work in the week, so probably 2 extra sessions a week for that. That was the original idea. But that just didn't really come into fruition, mainly because we've just been really busy with work. And the one thing and I'm sure you'll speak to anyone that's done Ironman events, and I spoke to lots over the weekend, they just, you have to sacrifice hours and hours and hours. And there's a book I read before the event about how a bloke wrote after he'd finished the Ironman about his experience, and he lost his wife and job from it because he was training so hard for it and sacrificed the hours. So they sacrifice so much time for it to get it.
And I think, like you said earlier, that it's one of the toughest things you can do. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think as your training went on, the kind of realization came in that actually, even if you're not training at the level you have to, or the amount of hours you're putting in, probably things like nutrition and like mindset and things like those are a massive hurdle to get over in order to like be fit enough to complete it. So with your nutrition mindset, how did you get that ready? How did you change?
Well, I spoke to Sarah and got some advice off her, and then just spoke to other people that had done the events before. And I think so because you're working from like an average of 12 to 17 hours, you've got to make sure you get the right balance of what you're eating, and because obviously you are sweating during that time, a lot of it's all about salt replenishment, so you don't get too much cramp during the event. And that was a big one for me. So they're really good. The events are run so well. So in the lead up to the event, I didn't change anything I ate. I just ate normally. So I think I had, what did I have the night before? I think I had burger and chips the night before and stuff, because it's all just calories. So, and just ate normal food in the lead up. I've always done that for competitions and things. So I find if I've tried it before where I've tried to change my nutrition and I don't really feel that, I feel out of like sync. So just ate all our normal foods, and then after that, on the event, they're so well run that there's food stations and they provide everything. So like all your sort of isotonic drinks, water, bars, fruit, all those different kind of things. So during the event, it was just about taking on all of those things throughout it. But I'm sure when we talk through the event, I'll say where things
that brings us on nice. Actually, I was just about to say, like, off you go. You can talk to us about the event. What went well? What were your expectations to start off with?
Well, expectations, genuinely, all I wanted to do was try and complete it, and I think.
And what was the time cap for this?
15 hours was the
that's
time
not
cap.
Usual, though, is it?
It's usually 17, but this one's 15. I think it's because of where. In Frankfurt, the mayor doesn't like the event to run on for too long, so they close it 2 hours short. So, and it's really brutal. Like, we were there right towards the end of it when they were finishing and the last few people coming through. When it hits the time, the lights turn off, the music stops, and a car drives across, and they just close the barrier.
That's
So
devastating.
there was hundreds of people out still running, and they're just left out there. And so it's very strict. They're very by the rules. So. Yeah, in terms of, I suppose the other thing I didn't say really, in terms of training up to it, I would say I probably accumulated 3 swim sessions. I think in the end, 3 swim sessions, which weren't ideal really, as in like the furthest I swam was half the distance we were going to swim for the event. And then on the bike, I did 2 big rides, and the big rides were a 40 miler and a 63 miler, so only actually half the distance what we do on the day.
Yeah.
And a run, I didn't do any run training except from one run, which I think was a 20-mile run, just to see how I would deal with my body weight, how it felt basically. So other than that, then it was just doing more stuff in the gym as we have been doing normally. The event, so well run, like it's an awesome like sort of just atmosphere. The whole city goes into shutdown for it, so all the roads are closed and everything. The swim was in a big lake, and because the lake was warm over a certain temperature, it meant that we couldn't swim in wetsuits, which is not good for a lot of triathletes because they like to swim with wetsuits on because it makes them more buoyant.
They probably train in
They
that more,
apparently they
don't
do lots of training with them. Yeah, so for me, it was doesn't really matter because I didn't know the difference. So we were swimming in just our tri suits. That like silly suit you saw me wearing, where it's like ridiculously tight. I got the biggest one and it was still tight. And so the swim they set off in groups. So you had to decide, and you got to think there was 4,000, just under 4,000 people doing the event, I think, and you had to decide how fast you were going to swim. So I had no idea, so I went in the slowest group. So I was like, I'll go in the slowest group, which meant we set off towards the back, which is okay actually because it helped build a bit of confidence. But the one thing I was not used to was swimming with loads of people in the group. It was really, really tough because you just find yourself getting hit. And what I was used to with swimming before was like, I'm used to always being swam in a pool and just like ticking along. So whereas this time you're getting hit, nudged, you go up for some air, you go up to get your breath, and someone splashes water and you get a load of water in your mouth and you can't get your breath, so you lose your rhythm. And also then the final one for me was sighting, so that means like looking where you go in, because I was quite lucky because a lot of people, I was following their path, but if you get yourself in a rhythm and sort of switch off, which I did, I ended up swimming out of path, so I went off about 50 metres off course, and I looked up and everyone else was loads away, and I was like, oh geez, so psychologically you're already swimming further than you have to, which is tough. And then about 600 metres into the swim there's like a turn point, and I got caught in a gaggle, started swallowing loads of water, which I sort of brought back up, and I just couldn't get my breathing for ages after that, and it took me a while to get back into rhythm and get breathing and then swim. And it was quite funny because there's what you call an Aussie exit, where like after about, I think it's 1.8k of the swim, so you've still got another 2k to go, you come out the water and run around this little loop and get back in the water again. And I remember running around that loop thinking, I was pretty knackered, and I was like, I'm not even from half the distance yet, and I sort of had to laugh in my head that I just got to get it done.
Did this swim go to plan?
Well, I had no plan with it. The worrying thing with it was there's a cut off of 2 hours 20 in the swim, and I didn't know how fast I was going. I didn't know if I was going at the right pace. I didn't know if I was going to get time capped. So I suppose it's a little bit, if you think of CrossFitters listen to it, it's a bit like you go, right, you've got this wall, it's a 10-minute cap, but you can't see the clock. So you don't know if you're there or when you're going to get capped. So I didn't know how fast I was going. So if I'm honest, I had no idea if I was doing well or not. I didn't think I was doing very well because I couldn't get my rhythm. I just couldn't get into a nice swim pattern. I kept having to stop, getting stuck behind people. The last part of the swim was a big long 2k stretch, and that was tough just because like you'd look at a buoy and think, right, I'm swimming to that buoy now, you get to it and then there's another one ahead, so it sort of it just didn't stop. It felt like the swim was never going to end. But yeah, got to the end of the swim, come out the water, and then you had to run up a hill in towards transition, and that's where you had Stu and my mum and my little brother were there, and they shouted at me that it was 1 hour 30, so I was really surprised. I thought it was going to be longer than that, so I was like, oh, perfect. So 1 hour 30, and then you go into transition, which means you go and get ready for the bike. and I was sort of like, I probably rushed a little bit in the transition just because I didn't really know what I should be doing. So I was a bit like,
what should you be doing then? What do people use
well,
that
I
for?
think because you're going to be on the bike then for 6 or 7 hours, maybe 8 hours. Like a lot of people spend a bit of time to get ready, whereas I was very much like I got in, I didn't even wash my feet down, just dried them, whacked socks on, put the shoes and helmet on, I was gone.
Yep.
Whereas a lot of people were in there for a long time, so I actually made a bit of time up in that, and I don't actually think it made much difference. But for instance, like if your feet are a little bit sandy, which mine
for
were,
comfort, you probably
it probably would have been better. And then you sort of then run round, find your bike, which is you have to. I sort of remembered where mine was, so I could get to it nice and quick. And everything's numbered anyway, so you can sort of, if you get lost, you can just follow all the numbers. And then I got on the bike, and then after that you then set out onto the bike. So your transition time is all part of the whole time anyway. So yeah, and then you set out and get onto the bike.
And it's a slightly longer bike ride, was it? Was it the 3 miles, the usual 2 miles, something like that?
Yeah, it was 112 miles, and it was 115.
Which I guess, like in the grand scheme of things, isn't a massive distance, but still mentally, you're adding extra.
Yeah, I was like, damn right, I was well annoyed.
I couldn't do 2 miles on its own.
The worst thing about it was I'd spoken to one or two people who were like, oh yeah, the course is lovely and flat, and then I literally got hit in the face with some horrendous hills, and but the bike course was awesome. So you cycle into Frankfurt from the lake, and then you do 2 laps of like the outskirts of Frankfurt into the countryside, and it's all these German roads, and they're all really nice roads, no potholes or anything. So it's not like your standard British road where you're zigzagging everywhere to dodge things.
Have you looked at, because you could track it on the app, couldn't you? Have you looked at your times?
No, I haven't. No,
I was getting obsessed with it. Like I was looking at everyone. I was following. Yeah, I was getting really into it. But like I think I said to you the other day that, particularly on the bike ride, there was one stage where everyone dropped off the pace massively, and I was thinking, I bet that is an absolute killer hill.
There was. So there's a few hills. So I can't remember the name of the first one, but the first one was pretty brutal because you could see it. You're coming up to it. You're on a long straight road, and a hill was there in front of you, and there's a water stop just before. So you grabbed some water, and then you set off at the hill, and you get to what you think is the top of the hill and turn a corner, and it just continues going. But there's a name for that one, but I can't remember the name of that hill. Then you went into like a really cool, like later on into the ride, you went into a really cool old German village, and it was all cobbled road. So you go onto the cobbled road, and it is like on your bike, you're all over the place. But then you go up a hill, and that was really cool because there's people all there cheering you on, and there was every time you went through a little town, it was like a party atmosphere. So they had their hoses out, they were spraying you with water to cool you down, and they had all music going in the town and everything like that.
So is it laps of
2 laps? It was like cycle into Frankfurt, then you start 2 laps. So I suppose mentally,
I was going to say, like, I've never done anything like this. I don't know whether to have laps so you know that you're at a halfway point is better, or whether having one
I didn't actually know either, because in terms of cycling, that 63 mile I did was a charity ride, which is just one loop.
Yeah.
And then the other one was what we do for the gym, is cycle for Cynthia, which is 50 miles. And what I try not to do is like quantify it too much. So I don't look and work all the numbers out and go like, well, 50 miles I've got to do double that this time, or 60 miles it's nearly double that, because I always find it gets in your head a bit. But I just sort of I just try and take things as wins. So once I'd done 1 lap, I was like, oh, wicked, I've only got 1 more lap to do. But in essence, obviously you do naturally in your head think, geez, I've got to do that all over again.
Yeah.
But all I did then was I remembered landmarks that I'd got during that ride, and just kept thinking, get to that next landmark. So I kept thinking about the next hill, and I was like, get to that next hill, and then this next one, just chip away at it. But then the last hill, which you'll probably see on the app, I haven't looked on the app yet, but was pretty brutal. It was called Heartbreak Hill, and I can confirm it broke my heart. It did. I said to someone, you know, it's bad when you're searching for lower gear on your bike, it's just not there. You're like, where's it gone? Yeah. And obviously that's the only time I actually felt the heat, actually, just because you slow down, so there's no wind.
Yeah. So bike then, you happy with with how that went? I mean,
yeah, I was happy with that. The only thing I found was towards the end I really started to cramp up. So after the first lap, there was little random points where all of a sudden random muscle had started cramping, and I was a bit like, I thought I nailed down my nutrition, because I was eating lots. I was even having sachets of salt and just pouring it in my mouth, and then having water to flush it down, so just getting salt back into the system. But yeah, they started cramping. So like when I was going down a hill, I'd get tucked low to be aerodynamic, and then whilst I was low, try and stretch out my hamstrings or like my hip if my hip was cramping a bit, because it's weird. A lot of it was really small, little weird muscles that are cramping up.
Yeah. I guess like when your big muscles fatigue, it like then takes on the more accessory ones, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Don't usually get.
And then towards the end of the cycle, I got my bottom of my feet were really hurting, and they're still numb now. Actually, I can't feel the bottom of my feet yet, as in towards my toes. And they restarted hurting. I don't know why. I don't think it was the heat or the pressure in my feet or this, because obviously the good thing with a lot of these triathletes that do all their training, they know their kit inside out. Whereas obviously my shoes, I'd only ridden them for 60 miles and I didn't really think much of it. Whereas you're going to be on the bike this time for 7 hours, 8 hours, so you don't ever really know how it's going to feel until you get there. But I always laugh, and like you always say, the pain from that takes away from the pain of the event anyway, so it takes your head out of the game, so you have to just embrace it.
One pain for another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's if you've ever seen Dirty Sanchez, that's the quote from them when they chopped someone's finger off and they chopped off their other finger, so it'll take away the pain from the first one. But yeah, so you come out, you finish a ride in Frankfurt, and it is nice. You go up that Heartbreak Hill, and it's a massive downhill all the way into Frankfurt, and being heavy was perfect because downhills were wicked. Literally I was flying past people, so I literally just sat on the bike, didn't even pedal for the last 3 minutes down the hills, and then went into transition, and then when you go in transition, you sort of hand your bike over, hook it up, and then go and grab your bag, and then put your running shoes on and your hat, and you start the run. I got off the bike and everything was really seizing up straight away, and I went into transition. That was where I had like a croissant in that bag, so I had my croissant as like a savoury thing, just as in like just something to eat rather than gels, because those gels, like, they're not very nice. No. And and then we started the run, and then
I guess running for you is probably the thing you've accumulated most hours in training history, isn't it? So I think we all said that, like, if you get to the run.
Well, I also said that until I actually got to the run.
So is that just a lot harder than you thought?
It was. So the run, always in my head was like, I can't wait to get to the run. And in fact, I said that about each thing. When I got the start to swim, I was like, can't wait to get to the bike. I got the bike, I was like, oh god, I can't wait to get on the run. I got on the run, I was like, I can't wait to finish. The run was tough, but the run was tough because I couldn't really run because everything was seizing up. And I've spoken to a few people now, and a lot of them say it's just because of my size that you're going to seize up with that. I just couldn't open my legs. Every time I tried to run and open my legs up, all of a sudden, like, I could just feel it cramp and lock up straight away, and it'd be like I'd be limping, and then so I had to do this weird little shuffle run.
It's like what I do anyway.
No, you're good at running. Yeah, just a weird shuffle run.
And was that laps as well?
That was 4 laps.
Yeah,
so it's along the river. Yeah, and that was pretty. Actually, that was probably the most demoralising, the run. But it wasn't demoralising in the sense of like I'm not going to finish it. It was demoralising in the sense of, oh god, it's a long old way. Yeah. So I suppose you do this lap, and it's one way up a river, turn round, come back along the river, turn round, and then come back to the start point again. And it is really nice because the whole of the city's out, and they're like all the paths are covered, and there's people cheering you all on, and it's a very party atmosphere. So there's music, and Red Bull sponsor the event as well. So there's Red Bull stations with like DJs and stuff, and like every mile there is, so probably 6 different of those stations. There's in between, it gets a bit quiet, and there's not many people. But you get your first lap done, and you go and get a wristband, and they give you a coloured wristband to designate you've done 1 lap, and then the next time you go around, they give you the next one, and you can't then go through the finish line until you've got 4 wristbands. I suppose the demoralising point was you go through lap 1 and get your wristband, and it was pretty tough, as in like they're very flat run, but it was just tough because it was relatively hot, obviously, but it was just because it wasn't because I didn't actually feel tired. It was just like it's a completely different pain to what we've probably all experienced in the gym. It was like a muscular just ache and pain.
Yeah, it's just like to shut down, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, I think just like that cramping and seizing up, like calves were getting tight, and just little bits of uncomfortable pain, really, like weird pain. So you get 1 lap done, and I remember thinking, oh god, I've got 3 more to go, and you just have to just laugh, and
I've put a question here, and I know the answer's going to be no, but is there any point that you wanted to give up? I know you wouldn't have given up. If there was going to be a point where you were like, this is the lowest point I'm at now.
Probably the swim, actually.
Really?
Like, actually
After
the
that,
swim. Because it's the unknown, really. So that was a new thing for me, where it was out of my hands, as in I didn't know if I was going fast enough or not. And in my head, I actually thought I wasn't going fast enough. So I'd probably say the swim was the harder bit. I suppose, like I said, we spoke about this earlier, but I said when you've done lots of different physical tasks before, you just build experience of understanding that you can keep going. So, you know, I'm trying to think of different things: the 24 hours on the assault bike, the ski erg, the burpees, the wadathon things, and all that kind of stuff. I've had experience there where I've been in pain, I've felt it before, and I know I got through it, so I'll do it again. So on the bike where it was hurting, I knew that I'm still moving, so I'm going to get there in time. And on the run, I knew that I had time to finish it. So I'd probably say the only point where it was like, Jesus, am I going to get through this? Was actually the swim, because I thought I didn't think I was going fast enough.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, no, I just thought, no, I just got to keep moving.
I think obviously the highlight for you would be completing it and doing it in the time you did it in. But if you take away the actual finish line, if there is a highlight throughout the event, what would you have said that kept you going, or was like a memorable, good part of it?
I did I got loads of messages from people who'd done them before, and all of them said just enjoy like the atmosphere. So I really tried to lap it all up. So like when I was coming on the bike, I was high-fiving people and stuff, and like there was a little kid on the run that every lap I come round, he was holding a little board that had like the mushroom from Mario Kart, and it said hit me for power-ups. So I went over and hit it every time. And I suppose and for me actually it was really I absolutely loved having my mum, Anna and Max there to watch. So and I always try and do stuff like this is also to try and inspire Max and show him that anything you can do is possible, really. So it was cool to have him there, even though at one point he did tell me just to get a move on, but apparently it's because apparently he was getting really hot and bothered, and he just wanted me to finish.
So I'm trying, Max.
I know I did tell him I'm trying my hardest, mate, but that was really nice. No, I think it's actually just like every time you the crowd were there and they were cheering you, and because you had your name on, they all shout your name and stuff, which was really nice.
So after the event, how did you recover? What did you do? I don't know whether you...
Mate, there's a picture of me. I will put it up actually.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, me where like we saw you finish, and the finish was really cool. As in like you walk up. Well, I decided I was going to walk in because I was like, I just want to.
I didn't know whether that was a decision or whether like
just couldn't run. Yeah, it's probably a bit of both, mate. Actually, no, I just thought, well, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do one of these again. So I was like, I'm going to walk up and just sort of take it all in. It means I can say hello to my mum and that as well as they're in the crowd. And they sort of give you a shout and all the music's going. So I just walked up and sort of embraced that, and it's nice, everyone cheering on and high fives and celebrating. And then you go through and get given your medal, like a really smart medal actually. And then they take you through to like, the athlete area, which has got like massage, food, all that kind of stuff. But actually, I didn't want a massage. I didn't want to get a shower. I didn't want any food. I was just done.
Yeah.
So I went out and I wanted to go out and see family because they'd been waiting for me for hours and hours. So I was like, I'll get out and go and see them. So I went straight out, saw them, and then instantly felt crap, and then felt really sick. But I think it's from all the gels and stuff I've been eating. So I sat down on a curb and just felt sorry for myself for a little bit. Then probably the worst thing I could have done, because my legs seized up and I could hardly walk. Like I was really struggling to stand up straight to begin with. I kept like wobbling about everywhere. It's funny, and then I realised I had to go and collect my bike still, and then I still had to walk up to the hotel, which I'm not joking, which is constantly uphill all the way to the hotel, because obviously you're on a river. Yeah. So the Frankfurt has got like 2 banks either side. So I had to walk uphill away, and then I didn't want to eat, but I knew I might want to eat later on, so I got a Five Guys.
Right.
Which I'm still in contact with them about sponsorship. They still haven't come back to me yet. And then went back and sleep, because it's quite late by that point. It was maybe like 10:30 at night.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a long old day because I've been up since I think I had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you have to get all your kit, get set up, have breakfast, and then get a bus across the lake, get your bike ready, and then get ready by the lake to go, and you set off at 6:30. So you had to be up really early. So it's obviously a long day, not just for exercise, but just because you've been awake a long time. So. And
do you think you're like back to normal now? Are you still feeling the effects?
I still feel the effects now. So yeah, we laugh because like I do still feel it now. So I just muscle fatigue though, and I say you never know central nervous fatigue. until like it's too late. So I know my nervous system's fatigued, so I've tried to get a bit more sleep. I was ill in the lead up to the event. So I thought it was my hay fever, but then I got a really sore throat and a headache, and my sinuses all went up. So I was a bit worried leading into the event, and I took a load of different tablets to try and get rid of it. And it was quite lucky, really, because the night before, it was the first night that I actually felt back to normal again. So I was like, perfect. So the next day I felt normal.
Yeah.
But that's come back again, probably because my nervous system's super fatigued from it. But yeah, just my calves are locked on and just like quite solid to touch.
Yeah.
And then,
we'll look after you, don't worry.
Yeah.
So, have you got any advice for people that want to do an Ironman or want to do a triathlon, or what's your kind of biggest takeaway that you could help them?
I would probably say equipment's quite important. Obviously, I need to give a shout out to Ben Painter for lending me his bike for the Ironman as well, because obviously he's lent me that and let me use it. But I think your whole setup of the bike and just getting, it depends what you're going to do. If you're doing one of these Ironman events, you're going to be on the bike for 6, 7, 8 hours.
Yeah.
You want to be making sure it's a comfortable setup, which the bike wasn't optimum for me, so it was a little bit uncomfortable in terms of body positions and things. So I'd say probably think about your equipment, but it's so easy to spend lots of money on all that kind of stuff. So I'd say make sure you're comfortable with the equipment and you're going to be able to use it for that duration and stay comfortable, because if you're not, it's just another pain that you're going to have to deal with on top of the fatigue that you're feeling. And then in terms of training, I think so the whole idea for me was to try and do that without massive training, but at the same time you can sort of argue that I've had a history of doing lots of different things, so it wasn't like I've come from no state of exercise and just gone and done an Ironman. I have trained lots, but I didn't do any specific training. Obviously by doing specific training, I think you can get your times down. I think you can make the event more enjoyable, and
like you said to me the other day, it can be quite dangerous. Like there have been death. Was there?
Yeah, apparently there is. There's been nothing announced yet.
But like it goes to show the demand it puts on your body, and so I guess you've got to.
Mate, there's medical tents all over the place, and I swear to God, there's bodies everywhere. Just because I think it's because of heat as well. Because I think it was like 40, 38 degrees or something. Just mere tanning weather for Northamptonshire lads, but But
I think you nailed it there. Like you've obviously had a history of training, like a lot of training, endurance stuff. Yeah, not specifically for Ironman, but I guess to someone who's fairly new to that high level of training, it's probably worth saying that they do need to put in the hours. They do not take it lightly. They will have to
so I would say definitely, if you've never done stuff before, get yourself used to that volume. But I'd probably also say don't overkill it either, unless you're going to go out there and try and really, really perform well. If you want to try and accomplish it and complete the task, then do what's necessary, but don't overkill the training. And I'll probably say actually go out there and go and find someone for advice. Like I was lucky that I had lots of people that done it before. So if I didn't have them, the event would have been even harder, because I wouldn't have known like that I would have had to take on more salts, and I wouldn't have known like just small little things like how to deal with stuff in transition, or like just little things like suntan lotion, or you need some Vaseline because you're gonna have to put some underneath your arms because they rub when you're running and stuff like that, which I wouldn't even thought about. So
with the sportsmanship side of it, I mean, like you've spoken to a few people that have done Ironmans, they always seem to be the most helpful.
Oh yeah, I think they're a bit like CrossFitters in the sense that they're so keen, they love it. They love it.
They want people to do well.
Yeah, at the same time, it's ruthless when they're in the event, because I saw people just like, I saw someone fall off their bike and everyone just cycled past them and left them. I saw a girl on the run that was like, she had nothing left, and like people were just leaving her running past her. So I like give her some gels to hopefully, mainly because I couldn't bear the sight of anymore, just throwing them at her. So you have them, I don't want any more. Where's that Five Guys? And So it is quite ruthless, but at the same time, as an example, when we did the brief, I sat next to a German guy called Matthias, and funny enough, I saw him on the last lap of the run. We ran the last lap together, and he was really thankful for doing it with him and staying together and going through it, because he was feeling the heat and things, and I found out this was like his 6th Ironman and stuff like that. So. I think, but it was so nice, like, especially when running up towards the end. There's lots of people there that already finished the event that have stayed behind to cheer people on, and it did feel very much like the whole CrossFit community thing as well. Cool. Yeah, so it is.
So I guess what we kind of want to know, or what we're dreading. What's next?
I don't know. We were discussing this earlier, actually. I don't
Already,
know.
go and have a break, have a day off.
Anna gets worried with this stuff because she says obviously she worries I'm going to keep doing things.
I'm with her. I worry.
Yeah, but I tend to like to do these things if a lot of them have got meaning. So I think the next one we'll do will be like a cool charity one. I think to try and raise a lot of money for charity. There's a few different events we've looked at. Sometimes it's also cost. Like I would love to be able to go and do lots more of mountaineering, but it's time and money to go and do those things. And there's things like there's an event called the Marathon des Sables, which is racing across the Sahara Desert, which I wouldn't mind doing, but then there's a big waiting list, and it also does cost a lot of money. So I'm sure there'll be more stuff we do, but there's nothing planned yet. We've got lots of stuff to do with Shire Fit at the minute, haven't we? Yeah. So that's where my headspace is at the minute.
I know you put on, I think it was your Instagram, wasn't it, a few hours ago, posts if people want to ask you any questions. Do you have any diamond questions that you want to?
Yeah, I'll have a look now and just quickly see any of them.
But appropriate ones.
Right, so I'll read some of these. Hannah Mann, did you get any blisters? And she put, if so, can I pop them? She's ringing, no. No, I actually didn't. No, I've just got really numb feet, so I can't feel my toes yet. How did it feel? This is Edward Cook, and good luck to Ed as well. He's doing his first CrossFit competition. He's doing the UK Teens Championships next weekend, or this weekend coming. So good luck for that, mate. And how did it feel crossing the finish line? Probably a bit of relief, really, thinking, oh god, finally it's done. But a lot of the time for me, I suppose with those events and doing these different charity things, it's not the ending. I actually like the whole experience of it. Rancy95, so Jack Rance said, how did you pace yourself? If I'm honest, I didn't know how to pace myself. I just tried to not overexert and just move at a constant pace. There wasn't like I'm gonna. So a lot of triathletes, because they know their game plan, they will sit at set paces, knowing that's what they can do. Whereas I just tried not to overexert, because one of the issues I was thinking I was gonna have, because I'm the same with CrossFit of like I'll just go hard. I'm used to hurting constantly. Whereas with this, it's about like holding off before that and just maintaining it. Rich Macra, did you think about the distance you had left during the event, or just zone out and go? I actually broke everything up loads, so and then if I did think about the whole distance, I just laughed about it, because I think it can get in your head loads. So I did just break everything up. So on the run, I was like, right, get to that point. Literally, especially towards the end of the run, I was literally right, let's get to that lamppost over there and get to that bridge. Whereas at the start on the bike, I was like, right, let's get to the next town. So you can see as I got more tired, the goal got shorter, and I just aimed for shorter things. Is it true that you did Murph halfway through the triathlon? I could literally, I said to you earlier, I couldn't think of anything worse. The way my legs are feeling, I would not have even got through Murph. Yeah, absolutely minging. Maybe that could be the next one we do, and I'm with Murph in the middle. And then Martin asked the same question about how do you mentally process the event, and then for me it was just like just keep breaking those things up and not think about the bigger task at hand. How did you deal with the nutrition? That was CJ Bavaria. With the nutrition on the course, it was so good. I didn't have anything planned myself because they gave everything out, so I was having the gels and they had the isotonic drinks, and then you also had like little food stations with like bananas or crackers on and things as well. So I was literally, I didn't really have a plan with it. I just went with what I felt.
Just by feel, I
just went with what I felt I needed, which probably wasn't the best way of doing it, to be honest with you, because if you go off what you feel, it's probably too late. Antonio, when did you hit your lowest point? What did you say to yourself to motivate yourself to get done? And the lowest point for me was probably that swim, actually, thinking, Jesus, like, I don't know if I'm going to finish this one. And when I sort of lost my breathing, I couldn't get my breathing back after I'd swallowed that water, and so I had like a mini like panic, and I was like, right, I remember thinking, right, my mum and Anna and Max and Stuart have all come out to come and watch me this. Loads of people know I'm doing it. Get a grip of yourself. I was literally did tell myself to get a grip and just get on with it. No, I suppose I'm not really one for like getting angry at myself. I usually stay quite calm. I just sort of just embrace it. You have to. You just have to, because I think all the way in my head, I think if I can get angry about it, or I can get annoyed at myself. But the thing is, that's not going to help me whatsoever. So I sort of just get on with it. And then, did you Mark Hackett, the Corby legend? Did you have to do a Paula Radcliffe at any point? And then, no, I actually didn't. I thought, will I have to? No, I didn't. Weird. Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't. I thought I was going to have to, but no, not at all. Not once. Not once. And then the final question was from Chunk Hyams, a big hunk. Serious one. You've done some crazy physical challenges. Was this the most challenging? I think this was the most challenging for mindset and like that different kind of physical thing. I think there's been other ones that have been challenging for pain threshold, but this was definitely the most challenging for like in your head. It messed with my head because I'd never done those distances before, and it was the unknown, so that was why it messed with the head. But yes, not the most painful, but definitely the most like mindset, like monotonous pain to get through challenging. So I think they're all challenging for different reasons.
So like you said before, that you do a lot of these challenges for your brother Max to show him kind of what is possible and what he can achieve and what everyone can achieve. But I think everyone that hopefully listens to this and comes to the gym will also say that they think it's an incredible achievement, and you've probably inspired them to do things and keep working hard. I know everyone that was texting me throughout the day asking how you were doing and keeping like me updated with things. Everyone downloaded the app to follow your progress. I think you probably got millions of messages.
It was so nice. Like I was really actually like I know I told people beforehand, but I'm not really one for putting much online and things, and it was so nice. I got so many messages and from all the team, from all the members, so much support, and I've tried to go back and message everyone to say thank you, because it does mean a lot. Like it's so nice that we have got such a supportive community of people that get behind everyone no matter what they do, how silly it is or what they do. So so thank you to everyone for all the support.
No, and from me as well, I think you did absolutely amazingly, and next time I'm in the middle of a 5-minute workout and I can't finish it, I'll think of the pain you went through and
I think you're next, Dan. We'll have a look and see which ones we can get you booked in for.
I might be away that day.
Oh really? Okay.
Do you have any final things left to say? I know we've covered pretty much
no, I think that's it. The whole idea was just to get an idea of what the whole event was about, really, and hopefully, like you said, show some people that you can go and do these things, and you can enjoy them as well and take a lot from them. I definitely took a lot from it, and I suppose just thank you for all the support from everyone as well, and I suppose we'll start planning the next one soon as well.
I was going to say thank you to everyone for listening. Obviously, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for any updates with further podcasts. Thank you for spending a bit of time with us, and I'll speak to you all soon.
See you later.
Bye.